Item 10B, receive a report and recommendation from the Parks and Recreation Commission regarding amendment of the city's master fee schedule to move the San Bruno Park School District into the Group 3 Community and Service Organizations fee category.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. This report is being presented tonight to follow up on a request made by the City Council during its budget deliberations on June 23rd. During these deliberations, the City Council requested that the Parks and Recreation Commission advise the City Council on whether all city nonprofits and community and service organizations should be placed into one group within the master fee schedule, rather than in the two groups which currently exist. Additionally, the City Council asked the Commission for its input on what adjustments, if any, should be made to the fees currently charged to the city's community and service organizations. By way of background, Chapter 9 of the city's master fee schedule establishes fees and charges for parks and recreation programs and facility and field rentals. These fees are classified into 5 groups as shown on the screen behind me. Group 1 is city-sponsored programs and activities. Group 2 is San Bruno Park School District programs and activities. Group 3, service and community organizations. Group 4, San Bruno residents or businesses possessing a current City of San Bruno business license. And Group 5, non-resident individuals, businesses, or organizations that are conducting not-for-profit activities. Unique to the San Bruno Park School District, Group 2 is not charged a field or facility rental fee. Only out-of-pocket costs incurred in association with staff services, such as lifeguards, for example, are charged. Currently, the school district uses the city's swimming pool, picnic areas, and fields for its annual end-of-year school parties and its annual Day of the Child, Day of the Book event. Based on the current fee structure, the school district pays $20 per hour per lifeguard for use of the swimming pool. Based on its historic use, were the Group 2 fee category eliminated and the school district moved into the Group 3 fee structure, the additional annual cost for these uses would be approximately $1,045 per year. Of this total $1,045, approximately $975 of the cost would be associated with the end of school year parties, and $170 for use of the district's use of Rotary Pavilion and the field adjacent to the Rotary Pavilion for the Day of the Child, Day of the Book program. Per the City Council's request, the Park and Recreation Commission, at its special meeting on August 12, reviewed the master fee schedule. The Commission deferred review of the service and community organization fees, the Category 3 fees, until it conducts its annual review of park and recreation fees, which it does each year early in the calendar year, to provide the City Council with input in advance of the annual operating budget review and adoption process. However, the Commission did discuss the concept of eliminating the Group 2 fee group. While the Commission recognized and acknowledged during its discussions the school district's current financial condition, the Commission agreed that it was reasonable for all city nonprofit and service and community organizations to pay the same fee. The Commission voted unanimously to recommend to the City Council the elimination of Group 2 from the master fee schedule and to move that fee user group into Group 3. Commissioner Lori Greenberg is with us this evening in the event the Council has any questions. She's representing the Park and Recreation Commission. Staff anticipates returning to the City Council in January 2016, in just a few months, with proposed adjustments to various fees throughout the master fee schedule. In the event the City Council wishes to modify the group structure showed on the screen behind me, staff would present these changes at that time. Staff is seeking the City Council's direction on how it should proceed with the next update, specifically of the Parks and Recreation fees, and specifically as it relates to the 5 fee groups. This concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions? Ken?
Through the chair, thank you, Carrie, and I want to thank the Park and Rec Commission for diligence on this. I was the one that brought this up during the budget sessions, and it's for a long time. I've always, because I'm with a community group and checking fees and how much it might cost and budgeting for certain events, it always caught my eye that there was a separate group for San Bruno Park School District. Now, nothing against San Bruno Park School District, but it could have been some other group, and it's like, why do they get their own classification? But I must admit that after we went through the joint use agreement and San Bruno Park School District, prior to their financial woes became very public, I made it very clear that I didn't think it was fair that the San Bruno Park School District had these types of concessions, considering changing fees for the city. Since then, and I must admit that, and again, I would like to hear from the representative of the Park and Rec Commission as far as what sort of dialogue went on with that. But I also have heard from residents that are affiliated with San Bruno Park School District, and they have their own opinion, and I respect that as far as how they feel that San Bruno Park should have their own classification. So it's not, my intent was not to say, no, San Bruno Park shouldn't get this, but more why and why not certain groups that are classified under Group 3. So further, and I'd be happy for the Park and Rec Commission to, take their time and go through, both classifications, and even more so, on the other groups. Because it occurred to me that even though Group 3 is supposed to be for community organizations and things, the real benefit is really only at the rec center and the senior center. When you go to park settings and other, fees, they're basically all the same with Group 4, which is basically a resident or any San Bruno business. So I think there's some adjustment that should be made, all over the place on that, and I appreciate that the commission would look at that, thoroughly. So that's just my point.
Anyone else?
Through the chair, real quick, did we notify or let the school district or superintendent know that we were or the commission was reviewing that, or it would be coming up this evening?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. I'd like to see us reaching out to the school district more, and the superintendent who was just sitting here. I know that as she's embarked upon her new journey, I think we need to be collaborating and need to keep people informed, each other, as she's doing for us. Second thing is, in light of Ken's comments, and I know I believe the commission felt the need to come back with something to the council at this meeting, as you had indicated at the commission meeting. And I think if we're going to look at it, let's look at it broadly and globally. I can go back in history where we started off with 5. We actually had a 2A and a 2B for the senior center at one point. So I can tell you because I rented it here when I was on city staff. And that was specifically for the school district so that they could have Fridays at a reduced cost rather than Saturdays, because Fridays were less popular. And some of the school district parents were saying, hey, can we get a little break here? Because by the time we do a fundraiser and we do the setup costs, et cetera, et cetera. So what I think would be advantageous is if we really look at the dynamics of the rental, the groups, where we've been, where we are, and where maybe they should go. Maybe they need to appoint a subcommittee, but I think my impression was, and Commissioner Greenberg can speak for herself and the commission, is that they really felt the need to come back at least with one item that was asked, and then the second item, which was Group 3, really was put off at this point so they could get more detailed information and really give it its proper review.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may, the council member is exactly correct. The Park and Recreation Commission each year, as it does look at the master fee schedule, does precisely what he was referring to, which is to set up a subcommittee so that they can really scrutinize all of the fees beyond just the time allowed in a commission meeting. And to the point that Councilmember Medina was making about providing the district with appropriate sort of foreknowledge or information, the thought was to make sure that precisely that happened by putting it on your agenda this evening as a non-action item per se, so that if the council did deliberate and have some discussion this evening, any adjustments wouldn't occur until several months from now, to give the school district an opportunity to provide their input as well.
Okay. Anyone else? Lori? Did you have anything to add?
So at our commission meeting, we discussed this. Initially, we thought, why burden our school district with an additional fee? But then we also reviewed that the school district charges our city or our recreation department to use their facilities for an after-school program. And that was, I don't know if you want to publicly give the amount, but it was like 30 times more than what we would accept from them. So we figured it was a fair exchange to charge the school district and put them in a category with our nonprofit groups. That's why we came to that decision,
Okay.
or
Great.
recommendation rather.
Thank you. Okay, so you submitted your report, but you're not asking for any action tonight. So, are you?
So based on the council's feedback, it sounds like the council would appreciate additional, more detailed review as part of the commission's annual process that we would anticipate occurring at the first of the year, related specifically to the fees and some additional evaluation of the fee categories. Is that understanding correct?
That's good.
Okay.
Someone have a comment?
Hi, Wendy Almagdad. I just heard about this, I think, in the last week or so, and school hasn't started, so I think a lot of people haven't heard about this. School's going to be starting in a day and a half. I just had a bad taste in my mouth when I heard about it, to be honest. With everything we went through, it was such a difficult last year. It really, and I thought that we were going to be working, with the city a lot more. It just put a real, it just didn't seem right to me, even to propose to charge the school district even $1 more. I know it's $1,000 on, annually. But the other part is that it's PTAs. It's not just really the district that would be having to come up with that money. It's the individual PTAs who are having to do fundraising that would have to come up for additional funds to use the park. So this was my concern about it, and I really believe that the school district should be treated differently than other community organizations by the city. It's a benefit for all of the city to have a strong, public education system. It's just, and many of us parents are really working hard, and a lot of people are working hard, to improve the schools, and now we have a new superintendent, and, but I think this could be really spun in a really bad way too. So I hope you consider not changing it, and still allowed to have the special category for the school district. Thanks.
Thank you. Your points are very well taken, and we're going to look at this in a lot more detail. So.
Marty Medina, Garden Avenue. I need to echo that. I heard it about the same time that Wendy did, and it's the end of the school party. Right? It's one time for each school. It's $1,045. The amount of effort we're taking up dealing with that is to get all the staff time, to get the resolution printed, to get the city attorney to look at it. All those costs compared to what we're really doing to try to get back at the school because something happened a little while ago. It's time to turn the page. We have a new superintendent, okay? It's $1,045. It's the end of the year party. It's one time. If they were having 20, 30 parties and abusing the system and getting this big free charge, I can understand maybe tweaking it a little bit, but it's a one-time event, guys. Come on. We're better than that. Thank you.
Let me just say
Take
something.
exception
You
to
made
that.
a comment there about getting back
Well-
because of things that happened in the past. I frankly find that disgusting. When this council approved no charges for the schools this year up to $30,000.
That's correct. That's what's so
All right,
surprising about it.
A council member asked during a session of rate hearings that they wanted more clarification. They got the clarification. We're going to study it more. Nothing's been decided. But to suggest that this city council is getting back at an entity, especially the school district, is way out of line. Thank you. Thank you.
I should be able to finish. Your Mayor.
You just finished and you walked away. Thank you
No.
very much for your comments.
No, you were-
Thank you.
There was something with the negotiations, that something happened. So I truly appreciate everything you've done, Mayor,
Thank you.
and
Thank you
what
very
all
much.
the council has done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And through the chair, and very, very quick, Wendy and Marty, that's why the school district will be kept updated. There is, Carol, correct me, there is no resolution, because this is only informational, so no time on the attorney has been spent. And as the mayor indicated, I believe the council, and I'll speak for myself, and my colleagues disagree with me, they can tell me, but I think that we have welcomed a new superintendent. As you know, the vice mayor and I went out and had coffee. She sent us newsletters. I called her on her first day that she started the school district. Michael and I serve on the school district subcommittee. So I think we have, and as the mayor indicated, we let the fees go, which I believe is around $32,000. In a continuation, and I've seen you at the events and others as we were raising money for the foundation, and I've met with them trying to see what we can do as a team, as a collective, as a community. So, yes, I appreciate the passion that everybody has, but in essence, I want us to bottle that up and put it toward the good and to make the difference in a positive way.
If I could
Have
put
your
this-
direction? Ken?
I just want to say one. I didn't know it was $1,000. All I see is a bunch of zeros. I see 2 columns of zeros. And yes, it gives an impression that there could be a lot of events that this one classification could take advantage of. So if it's $1,000, then maybe we've done special special fees for certain projects and certain events. We can do that. My question to you is, and there was a comment about public schools. Does Cappuccino High School, where do they fall into this? Because it says San Bruno Park School District, so I'm assuming that Cappuccino High School, if they wanted to have a picnic, or if they wanted to rent a facility, they would fall under Group 3. And so, those are the sort of things, and also, while we're at it, I like to better understand the concession stand rental. Why is it $200 and why is it $300 and things? For that kind of expense, no wonder some of our small, organizations don't use it, to their advantage because, there's a lot of money that comes off the top. So I think, with all due respect to all of our organizations in this community, the Park and Rec Commission has got their task right now, and I trust that they will do the right thing and come back probably after the first of the year with a recommendation. So,
All right,
thank you.
Thank you. You have your direction? Okay, great.